Hi guys, it's Jenn Rigby, and today I'm going to be sharing a first impressions review of the Clinique Silk Superbalanced Makeup. If you'd like to see how I got that look with this foundation, then just keep watching. The first thing I'm going to do is apply this All About Lips. It's a lip product that's supposed to moisturize and make lip products last longer on the lips. I have really dry lips right now. It is, winter in Seattle, and we run the heat all the time, so my lips get the brunt. So I'm just going to apply a generous amount, and then I will wipe some of this off right before I actually apply lip product. This is the Pep Start Eye Cream, and I'm just going to apply a small amount of this under my eyes. It's kind of an interesting applicator that you can apply the cream to and then rub gently under the eyes. I don't always do this. I don't necessarily find that it makes a big difference, but it is kind of an interesting way to apply the product. And then I'm just going to pat the excess into my eye. I think I put a little bit too much on, but that's okay. My eyes will just be nice and moisturized. And then because it is winter, I tend to use the Moisture Surge. This is the Extended Thirst Relief, so I'm gonna apply this all over my skin. I'm just gonna take a small amount though, because we are gonna be adding primer and I don't wanna get too much product on my face. And then while all of my skincare is setting, I'm going to go in with the Clinique Pretty Easy palette. It's a good neutrals palette, and it also comes with two of the skinny liner. It comes in brown and black, which is awesome. So I'm going to be using this all over my eyes. So I'm going to go in with the shade number 2, and I'm going to put that into my crease. It's kind of a taupe color, so I think it'll be a good transition shade. And then with a fluffy brush, I am going to gently pat this number 3 shade, kind of a shimmery brown, all over the lid. It's kind of a pretty bronzy tone, and I'm just gonna work that into the crease also. And then with the other side of this brush, I'm gonna go in with shade number 4, and I'm just going to work that into the outer V, kind of deepen things up a little bit. And then I'm going to run that along the lower lash line as well, just very gently, and just in the outer third. And then with a big fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend that deeper shade into the crease. It's nice and blended out, and blend out the lower lash line also. And then I'm going to brighten this look up a little bit. So I'm going to add number 2 and number 8 to my little fluffy crease brush. I'm going to blend that into the crease, just brighten this look up. And then with a fluffy flat shadow brush, I'm just going to press number 2 into the center of the lid. Finally, I'm going to take a blend of number 8 and number 2, and I'm going to pop that into the inner corner, maybe a little bit of number 1 as well, just to make sure it's nice and bright. And if it is messy, don't worry, that's okay, because we are going to be doing our foundation and we'll clean all of that mess up when we are concealing and doing foundation. All right, and then with a light shade number 1, I'm just gonna put this onto my big fluffy blending brush, and I'm just gonna blend all of the edges out so they are nice and smooth. Now if it got a little bit too smoky for you, that is totally fine. This is a good time to blend out the outer corner so it's maybe not as smoky or dark if you're going, if you're gonna wear this look to work. If you're gonna maybe go from work to night out, this would be probably a good level of smokiness. If it got a little bit too smoky for you in the outer V, what you can do is mix the 2 lighter shades together and just blend those out and just work on the edges so they're not as intense. So you can just kind of blend until you get your desired smokiness. It's a good way to fix, mistakes, is just blending out lighter shades into the deeper ones. And then obviously when you're doing concealer and foundation, you can also fix it then by just adding more and kind of blending it out with a fluffier brush. So then I'm going to take the Skinny Stick eyeliner in 03 Slim Sable, and I'm just going to run that along the lash line. And then something I like to do when I use a more crayon type of liner is set the liner. So I'm going to take number 4 on a little smudger brush and just kind of smudge that. And then on that fluffy crease brush, I'm just going to take a lighter color and just kind of blend out the lower lash line real quick, especially focusing on that inner corner. I just really want that to be brighter, and blend out the lower edges here. Okay, perfect. And I don't have a concealer from Clinique, so instead I'm going to use this Physicians Formula concealer that I recently picked up at the drugstore. This is the Insta Ready Full Coverage Concealer. All right, and I'm just gonna dot it onto the lid, under my eye, and then kind of take it up to the side here. So that cleaned up the shadow area very nicely, made it look a little bit brighter, not so intense. All right, and then we're gonna go in with the star of the show. So I'm gonna leave you zoomed in so you can kind of see how this applies. This is the Clinique Superbalanced Silk Makeup, and I have the shade 01 Silk Porcelain, and here's what it looks like. Now there is no pump on this, which is kind of a bummer, but I think we will survive. Then you do have to give this a little shake. Before I do that, I'm gonna put on this Universal Face Primer from Clinique. This is kind of a lotiony primer, so not like the traditional silicone pore filling one, but more of a lotiony type primer. And this is the first time I'm using this primer, but I figure since Clinique makes it, they probably anticipate you using their own primer with their makeup. So that's why I opted to use this, even though it is new to me. All right, I'm just gonna hop in with my Real Techniques Diamond Sponge, and I'm gonna use that on half of my face here. And then on the other side, I'm going to be using this 3D HD Kabuki brush from Sigma to apply the foundation. Did notice there's a spot here that doesn't seem to want to be covered up. So I'll just brush that on since I'm already doing that. It doesn't seem to want to adhere to the areas around my nose that get red. It kind of gunks up a lot around my eyebrow area, and also around the corners of my nose where I have a little bit more dry skin, and also in the corners of my mouth where it is a little bit drier, and I also applied more of that lip product, and then it's also really showing off this spot here. It's like an old zit that's healing up. And it definitely requires a lot of product to cover any redness, so it did take 2 layers to cover that little pink spot I had on my face. I'm just noticing that it gives my skin kind of a heavy texture look, and it also seems to kind of cling to itself and cause it to look a little oxidized. And I'm not sure how well it really is playing with that serum and or the moisture surge that's under it. It seems like maybe it would have gone on better if I hadn't used anything. I'm not actually sure. See how this lasts. Maybe it just needs some time to kind of sink in. On camera from a little bit of a distance, it looks okay, like in the view, like what I'm seeing of the viewfinder. And I'm curious what it looks like when I play the footage back, like on the computer. Anyway, those are my very first impressions, and I'm going to wear this throughout the day, and I will do another check-in. But before we do all that, I'm going to finish up this look. Put on some mascara. So this is the Clinique High Impact Mascara. And then on the lower lashes, I'm going to try the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. Just a tiny little wand. So I haven't used this foundation before, and it is already kind of moving. I'm going to go ahead and set half of my T-zone. That I'm just using the Clinique Blended Face Powder in 20 Invisible Blend. And then for the last step, I'm going to go in with Clinique Pop Lipstick in Berry Pop. And then because my lips have been so dry, I'm going to also pop a little bit of the Super Balm Moisturizing Gloss just in the center. And then I'm just gonna finish the rest of my look, so blush and brows off camera, because I don't currently own any products from Clinique for those, so I don't really think they apply to this tutorial. But for now, I will leave you to it, and I will be checking in a few hours and let you know how this foundation is wearing. Hi guys, so I'm just checking in, doing my final check-in for this foundation. So it's been about 8 hours now, so you know, a full work day's worth of wear. And please excuse the wet hair, and I'm also rocking a onesie because, well, sometimes days don't go exactly as you planned, and today is definitely one of those days. Anyway, I won't dwell on that. Instead, I want to get into the makeup and see how this performed. So some of my eye makeup has definitely worn off, and that is okay. I wasn't really expecting that to stick around based on what I was doing today. I was doing a lot of cleaning and stuff like that, so I do see a little bit of like fallout and mascara, but I have not been good about not touching my eyes today, so I am not holding that against the makeup. It was doing fine before that. And I like Clinique eyeshadows overall. I think they perform pretty well and don't have any problems with them. But the foundation, I'm not super crazy about, and here's why. So the big thing I see is that on my nose, it is not looking very good. It's not looking very good here. It does look better on the side that I set, but it definitely shows my fine lines, and it shows a lot of texture on the side that I didn't set. And to be honest, most foundations don't show a lot of texture on my skin because for the most part, I don't have a ton of texture. I have just a few little bumps, but this seems to just really accentuate any problem areas you have. So if you have dry patches, it's gonna like really bring them out. Like as an example, this one right here looks terrible. It looks real gross. It looks super dry and super cakey, and I'm just not a big fan of it. So I've also noticed that it doesn't really hold on the side. Like it's kind of just crumbling. I don't know if that's because of the primer I used or what, but it's like just crumbling off on the side, and it's also not really holding on in terms of pigmentation and coverage. It's just not really lasting the whole day. Let's see what else. I also noticed it's caking up around this area, and like I said, it's really accentuating my fine lines. You can see here, it really is making them show more, I think, more than normal. It definitely settled into this particular line right there. So with all of that said, personally, I'm not going to recommend this foundation for dry skin. I had mistakenly assumed that a silk foundation would be good for drier skin types. Maybe it's not for my skin type. I'm not really sure. The fact that it shows those dry patches and cakes up in areas where I do tend to get dry skin, so around my nose, on my nose, in this area, and these two areas, those are kind of my trouble areas for dry skin. It's just not a good foundation match for me. So unfortunately, I'm going to be returning this one. I bought it at Nordstrom, and I know Nordstrom has an amazing return policy. Pretty much most department stores and makeup stores do have good return policies that you can take things back that don't work for you. So I think I'm going to be returning this foundation and trying another one from Clinique and seeing how that performs. I've seen a lot of really great things about the Beyond Perfect Concealer Foundation, the one with the big doe foot applicator inside. I definitely want to try that one, so I think that one is what I will exchange it for and give that one a shot. I've heard nothing but good things from all sorts of people with all sorts of skin types here on YouTube and in the blog world, so I'm excited to try that one out, and hopefully it performs a little bit better than unfortunately this one did for me. I will say that setting it definitely worked better. I definitely would encourage you, if you're interested in trying this foundation, maybe stopping by Sephora or Nordstrom and just asking for a sample in your shade and seeing if it works for your skin type. I think normal skin, it might work well, and maybe even like if you're combination oily, that might be better. Just with the fact that it clings to all the dry spots and gets caked up, just for me is not a great match for my skin type, which is more combination dry. I tend to get a little bit oily in the T-zone and very dry, especially in the winter, which is why I went in with those winter moisturizers first. But anyway, I do have a fun little giveaway though. I am a big fan of Clinique skincare. I absolutely love their intensive moisturizers, their under eye creams. I love their lip products as well. By the way, this lip stainage is not from the lipstick I was wearing earlier. I did some swatches is for a Kylie lip swatch video that's going to be coming soon, so please ignore that. That is not from that lipstick. Anyway, I'm going to do a little giveaway in the description box below. If you're interested in trying some Clinique products for yourself, then just enter down below. The secret word is moisture. If you want to enter to win and get some bonus points, be sure to enter the word in the entry field for that. So I hope you enjoyed this first impressions video and liked the tutorial that I did for my eye makeup. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below so you'll catch all of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Bye!